Ladles and jelly spoons, welcome back to Badgerworks. Today, this. This is a block of polymer clay, and today we're going to do some sculpting. Or rather, my daughter's going to do some sculpting. So, let's get on with it. Right, so she's got a project that she's decided to do, challenging herself. So what are you doing, child?
Yeah, so this is Gorgosaurus. Yeah.
So what's the idea?
So basically, so back then when people didn't know what dinosaurs looked like,
Yeah.
so they made them look all weird and
Yeah,
and,
so
and
like
not dinosaurs.
when they first started discovering dinosaur fossils, they didn't understand how they fitted together, so they made them look kind of odd.
Like by putting iguanodon's spike thumb on its nose.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll throw up a few pictures if I can find some. But basically, I think it was there was an exhibition at Crystal Palace or somewhere, and they displayed all these dinosaurs they'd recreated, and they historically got them all hilariously wrong. But that's
a bit
science.
like Jurassic Park.
Well, yeah, well that was more artistic license than anything. The fact that their velociraptors were 6 feet tall and all the rest of it, when they should have been the size of a chicken. But anyway, so what are you doing, child? So we've got this Gorgosaurus skeleton.
and this is the only picture I'm going to be using. So I've got no idea what it looks like.
Okay, so you're going to recreate a Gorgosaurus in clay, using just the skeleton as a reference.
Pretty much.
Okay. Right. So what have you got then? Let's have a look at your tools.
So I've got.
So we've got the clay, obviously. So we've
got
that.
flesh and skin, and we've got wire, which is bones.
So yes, we use the wire to make armatures.
And then we've got the bendy things, which we use to bend the bones, and the clippy things, which we use to clip the bones into the right size.
You've got angled needle nose pliers and side cutters.
And then we've got some more bendy things, and then we've got some drilly things.
For pin vise.
And then we've got a little paintbrush that I think came with Tacky the T-Rex.
Probably.
That I'm going to use to texture it. And then we've got a little wooden base, because it's never going to stand up on its own. Then we've got some more wire. Then we've got some smaller wire for attaching the wire to the wire. And then we've got some cos clay, which is used for the teethy bits and the naily bits.
Yeah, so this stuff here is actually translucent, and it glows in the dark.
And it's flexible.
But the idea is that when you're doing things like teeth and claws and whatnot, you make them out of this first, and you can fire them separately, and then it makes them a lot easier to fit. We'll see that as we go along. So what else have you got?
That's useless. And then we've got tin foil, which is to bulk out the armature and use less clay, because clay is expensive.
Yeah.
And then we've got tools.
This is a small selection of the tools that she's got. She has got a lot of different tools, but those are the ones she uses most of the time. Right, so how do you get started?
Well, so we've got a nice piece of wire here that we need to straighten.
Is that how big it's going to be?
No. So
are you going to make it to scale to the picture?
Mostly.
Okay.
Oh, it's easier to do that way.
All right.
Because then you put it.
I've never done this, so you know more about this than me.
So you put it on your reference picture.
So she uses reference pictures. I don't. That's why her stuff looks better than mine. Go on.
So going to the tip of the tail, to around about the base of the neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you hold it there, around about, and you get your clippy things, and you clip it.
Right.
So that's the body. And then what we can do is, using this little bit of wire, we can measure out.
This is aluminium wire, by the way.
We can measure out where the footsies and the legsies go.
Go on, carry on. Don't keep looking at me. You're doing fine.
So now we have one leg. We need 2 legs.
Well, yeah, usually.
So I'm going to use this to make another leg. No, I'm not.
Move that bit of wire out of the way.
What? No, it's fine. Leave me alone. I know what I'm doing. And then
I see. You're going to make it the same length, yeah.
Just.
No, you just go off the picture like you did with the other one.
And then you go. Like that. And then what you can do is you can bend it, and I'm just going to guess its shape, into yeah, and then you put those bits together so that they're around about the same length. Click it off there, and then
I see. You're using one bit of wire to do both legs.
Yeah, and then you can put. Then how do I do this? My God! And then.
Oh, the pressure of being on YouTube.
I know. Shut up. And then you can bend it to about the right shape. And then put the legs in a leggy position. And then also measure and make it so that the little bits that are gonna go in the wood aren't too long, and then put them together again to the same size. And bend them out. And then get a bit of wood, place it on the wood. Legs. Cool. And place it on the wood like so, making an indent into the wood so you know where to drill. And when your hand starts hurting, you know you've drilled too far.
Yeah, don't go through it into your hand.
And then you can drill out a little hole there, and where the other leg will go. And little sawdust bits. Add them to the sawdust down here, and then get your legs back and stick them in the holes.
How deep have you done those holes?
I have no idea.
Oh,
And
okay.
make sure it looks vaguely
Leggy.
leggy, yeah. Do that one down a bit because I made this one too shallow. There we go. And then we can get the body back, making sure that you put it in the right way. Round. So there are the hips. And then you put it on there. And then
Did you want me to cut your bit of wire off?
no, it's fine.
Mm.
And you leave that on there so you know where you put in your wire. And then you get out a smaller bit of wire and you cut that. And then you get your legs and where the legs would join the body, and then you wrap a little bit of wire around there. Cool. And then you get the tin foil. Far too much tin foil, but that's fine.
Perfect.
Chair, really uncomfortable.
Huh?
Cool. And then you, well, I've got no idea what this thing looks like, so then you just kind of wrap it around. Stay in there. And then more tin foil. And then you wrap it around the legs and the body to the legs to make sure it all kind of
Blends.
yeah.
So this is basically just so you don't have to use so much clay.
Mm. And after you've done this, you can realise that you've made the hips far too wide. And you can add more tin foil. Looks like a chicken.
Well, they do kind of look like chickens. When are you going to add the forelimbs?
What forelimbs?
Well, he's got forelimbs. Or are you going to poke those in afterwards?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Well, they're all small, so.
No, that's all right. I'm asking. I'm not saying you're doing it wrong. I don't know how you do it. So.
Add a bit more, just to make sure it's all the kind of same chunkiness.
That does look quite like chicken. It's like an oven-ready chicken.
You can also still see the little bit of wire at the top so that you can poke the head on later. Make the tail a bit more taily.
Was that bit really worth it? Waste not, want not.
Exactly.
I should mention, by the way, she's basically taught herself how to do this. I have no idea how to do this. So
I'm smart.
This is all stuff she's done herself, so I just pay for everything.
Exactly.
Because that clay's not cheap.
There you go.
Oh, that looks pretty good already.
Now we've got a little chicken.
Bok bok.
Exactly. Now we can poke it back in its little holes. Make sure it's in a very chickeny position. Chicken. And then move that out of the way and get our clay.
Did you want to try?
No.
I'm trying to help.
I've got my own opening tools.
I see. Your own pointy things.
Yeah. And this is from
Teaser.
yeah. Here you go.
But it's polymer clay.
Yeah.
So it stays malleable, shall we say?
And then you bake
in the
it.
oven.
And get this out. Move over. Or just pull the box apart.
So the nice thing with this stuff is you don't need a kiln to fire it. You can literally just put it in the oven and fire it.
More packaging.
Oh yeah, it's just up and drying out. But you go through quite a lot of this stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Usually on cats.
Chunk of this. And then we soften it up. Oh, I forgot to mention as well, I also have liquid polymer clay,
Oh yeah.
which is to help the polymer clay that doesn't want to stick to the other polymer clay.
It's basically glue for polymer clay, but it is literally just polymer clay and water.
And expensive.
It is expensive, yeah.
And now we have two little things of clay and a chicken. And you can flatten one of these out. Cool. Should have brought your pasta machine.
Well, did you want me to go and get your pasta machine?
No, no, it's fine.
I can go and get it, it's fine.
Actually, yes, go and get the pasta machine.
Let's talk about shells for a minute.
I could do without the pasta machine, but the pasta machine's easier.
Right.
The pasta machine.
Oh, that's quite heavy, that thing, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. This is the pasta machine.
This is literally one of those cheap pasta rollers that you get from, I can't remember where this one came from now, was it Amazon or somewhere?
Okay. And this is its handle, which goes in there.
You might need to
What?
put that round sideways so the handle's off the side of the table.
Good idea. And you put the clay in there. And it flattens it. And it flattens it again.
Yeah, this is literally just one
And
of the
again.
pasta roller that you get from like the supermarket or Amazon or somewhere like that. Just a cheap one.
And again.
And you just use it like that to
Hold this.
put it over there.
So now we have a chicken, and now we have some flat pieces of clay. So now we cover the chicken in flat pieces of clay.
And this is again why we use why she uses the tin foil, because it just means you don't have to use all that clay. You can just you just need enough clay to cover it. Oh no, it's all stuck together. Oh,
Fine.
tragedy.
And make sure there aren't any cracks in the clay as well. They're a pain to get out. You have to re-roll it and re-flatten it.
The horror.
I know. So at this point it's more just getting the aluminium covered, because we don't need to see the aluminium, because it's aluminium.
Right, you carry on. I'm going to sit back here and observe.
The tail's a bit short. Is it? No, it's not. It's fine. Might make it a little bit longer. There we go. Make sure all of the aluminium is covered. Still making sure to leave the little bit of wire at the top for the head later. And you can smooth all of that out. And then we can make it look less like a blob of clay with legs and more like a dinosaur by making the legs. And the way we make the legs is we roll out little long things of clay and stick them on the legs. Probably should have put it on the block of wood first, because the block of wood will act as pretty much the ground. So that will be where the leg ends. Well, that will be the foot, technically. And again, making sure that all of the wire is covered, because we don't want to see the wire. And making sure that it isn't, that it's attached to the wire kind of, and not, there isn't any air in between the clay and the wire. Because if there's air in between the clay and the wire, when it's baked, the clay will then crack and I'll have to fix it. And do the same again for the other leg. Again, at this point it's more just about getting the, I guess, the skeleton covered. Making sure that it looks vaguely like the other leg. And that there isn't any air in there. And then smoothing it all out. And a bit extra clay, because there are cracks that we don't want, for the same reason that the cracks will get bigger in the oven, because they can. And then we make sure to flatten out the legs a bit. And then we can get this other circle block of lump of clay. And then we can go about making the legs look slightly more like legs.
Right, I'm not sure what happened there. The camera stopped recording for no apparent reason. So hopefully we haven't missed too much, but give us a little catch up what you've done so far.
Well, basically I've made the legs and I've bulked them up, making sure they're kind of flat, but not too flat. And making sure that they look vaguely the same and chickeny, because we can't use dinosaurs as a reference because people back then wouldn't know what dinosaurs looked like. So what was the point of basing a dinosaur off of another dinosaur if you didn't know actually what that dinosaur looked like?
Exactly.
What? And then you put it on the block again, making sure its legs still look like legs. We've got a little, well, technically that would be the ankle, because bird legs are weird. And then we can, no we can't, what am I on about? Then we can go about refining the legs a bit more. using this and this little ball stylus thing, I think that's what it's called, and we can make the legs a separate thingy to the rest of the body so it doesn't all just mould into a big clay lump. And we can smooth, and then we can smooth out the edges so that I don't have an unnatural kind of, so that it doesn't have an unnatural kind of sharp edge. And you do the same to the other leg, making sure to go all the way around it. No unnatural sharp lines. And then kind of again press it inwards. For the bottom of the tail. Very fat looking tail. Making sure that it's well defined. Like that. There we go. And then we can stick it back on here. And that looks like a chicken. And then we now can go and make sure the back of the foot, what will be the foot, is mostly rounded. And then you can make its little toes, which are long bits of wormy clay attached in, yes it has 3 toes, attached in little frees. Making sure that they're all around about the same size, unlike this one. And also, when you're doing things like this, it's best to make the other toes as well at the same time so that you don't get 2 sets of feet that look not identical. Okay. So we should have 6 little toes that we can attach together, making sure that the rounder bit is at the bottom. Into a more kind of foot position. And we can attach them onto the feet, legs. Yeah. And there we go. Moulding them into the rest of the leg. This way, just putting them on, make sure that they stay on and don't fall off, because toes shouldn't fall off.
Well, probably not, no.
Especially not if you only have 3 of them. And again, we can put them into a more toe position, and we can get our little pointy pokey thing and do the little. So now we can go about defining the little toes.
Oh, yeah.
And again, trying to make sure with this little thing that there aren't any unnatural sharp straight lines. And this bit doesn't really matter because we're going to be making some more unnatural sharp lines in a minute to make the little scaly bit. Wait, no, we can't do that, can we?
What?
Wait, no, because chicken bits have little scaly bits, don't they?
Yeah, they're just like chicken feet.
You can go and you can add in the little...
I think they, in the old days, they basically thought they were, you know, they described them as lizards, because that's what dinosaur means, terrible lizard.
Hmm. And Tyrannosaurus Rex means king of the tyrant lizards.
Yeah.
Even though...
Tyrant, king of the lizards.
Even though technically it wasn't the biggest dinosaur.
No. It's still everyone's favourite.
Nobody seems to care about the Spinosaurus, or the Giganotosaurus, or the...
I should point out as well at this point, viewers, that my daughter knows an awful lot about dinosaurs. So... and gets quite vexed at things if they're not right in films and stuff. I'm going to go and fill up my drink. Just so you know, if this camera stops recording, it's just that button there to start.
Okay.
And obviously with that one, you just hit the button.
Yeah. And you can poke some little awfully human-looking toenails. Well, technically they would be toe holders, toenail holders, because that's where the talons will be going eventually. Just adding some little lines around the feet. And also probably should go up the feet a little bit. Making sure that there's still kind of 3 definite toes. So that they're not too deep. But also that they're not going to be smushed. Nope. Make sure that they're nice and vaguely natural looking. That they go all the way around. All the way up the foot. Although technically, if you see, all of this would have been its foot, so from the toes all the way up to this little bit here, because that would have been the ankle. Yeah. Because actually with most birds, like things with like flamingos, I think, and ostriches, they're what was it? I think actually it's the their knees are inside their bodies. I think that's right anyway. So the little kind of bobbly bit halfway up their legs is actually their ankle. That might be wrong. If it is, I do apologise. So make sure that they're all nice and scaly-ish. And then, I'm not going to add the talons at the minute because I'll most likely just knock them out. Make sure that it all flows together nicely onto the base. Oh, and also be careful which type of wood you use, because wood can burn, surprisingly. Yeah, just making sure that there's no little cracks or anything. And it's all not, I guess, off to one side, or asymmetrical, or too asymmetrical. Yeah. So there it's relatively oversized feet. Now, there's a bit of wire showing through there. Cover that up. Probably shouldn't have put that clay on the paper. Clay rips paper if you leave it on there for too long. Clay. Put it on there. Again, to make sure there's no gaps. because gaps are bad. Gaps are not your friend. Gaps mean I don't know. Gaps usually means trapped air, and air usually tries to find a way out, and it's not good. So there's our kind of chubby looking dinosaur chicken thing. We can go and we can add in the ribs, because how many ribs does it have? Counting ribs. Counting dinosaur ribs, something that I never know I will be doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's about 10. I'm not going to put about 10 on there. I'm only going to put about 2 on there. So starting from around the front, the front of the leg, all the way down to round about the middle. I'll just mark out a kind of middle section so that I can attach the ribs to that and make sure that they're mostly symmetrical, and then I can do another rib just in front of that. I usually only do 3 ribs. But I'll do another one because it's a dinosaur. And dinosaurs deserve more than 3 ribs. And you can do the same for the other side. Ooh. Make sure not to do that too much. And there we go. It's a nice ribby looking dinosaur. So now again, smooth out. I usually like to start at the top with the ribs. Smooth out all of those sharp, unnatural lines. Make sure that it all blends together well. And also make sure there's still a defining line between the ribs, because there would be a defining line between the ribs. Your ribs attached to a thing at the front which makes the thing which attaches the ribs, so that they're not just floating around.
How are you getting on?
Ribbing.
Ooh. Good so far, carry on.
So now we have a fat skinny thing, and now just wondering whether I should add muscles.
Oh, I think you should.
Of course you do. Then again, in my experience, big scary things usually have big scary muscles, because big scary. What do dinosaur muscles look like? What do chicken muscles look like?
I don't know.
Cool, you're like it.
Not allowed to use reference pictures, you just have to use your imagination.
Well, no, I'm not allowed to use reference pictures of dinosaurs. But whatever. Where's me? There it is. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a little kind of V.
Sorry. I just
Tip
want to tip that camera off a bit, because all it's seeing at the moment is your hand. Carry on.
And making a little V.
Do excuse all the 3D printer filament in the background, everyone.
And turning it into a little Y. That goes to the back of the leg. And then making a little indent around about the base of the ankle. And again, we can smooth that all out. And make some little dinosaur muscles.
I'm impressed, child. I like the ribs.
And then we can make another little Y, making sure that it's the other way round, so that it's mirrored. And give it a little bit of a kind of band around there, and then smooth it out again. Speaking of the ribs, I just squished all of them.
Yeah, I know. This is the thing that always worries me about when I do. If I tried to do anything with clay, I'd probably do the same thing.
But that's fine.
You just unsquish it.
The paint will usually bring it back. And if not, then I know it's there. There we go. And then we, I would say we can do some little tail muscles, but I don't know what to do with little tail muscles. What a tail muscle look like? You kind of.
Well, so I think in this case it's more a question of using your imagination.
All right. There we go.
As I say, when they did these, they had no frame of reference, so I think they just went off of lizards.
Tail muscles. And do the same on the other side.
Tail's a bit chunky.
Shut up. Yes, well that's what happens when you add far too much aluminium.
Well, doesn't that tail need to be a bit longer anyway?
Fine.
Because isn't the tail length from the hips is the same as the rest of the body and the head, isn't it? Because it's counterbalance. You want that tail a bit longer, don't you? I don't know, I'm just saying. Am I just getting in the way now?
But can I be bothered? Oh, fine.
Well, no,
We're ripping the tail apart.
Just do a bit more clay on the end of it.
No, because it will just flop.
No, it won't.
Yes, it will.
No, it won't.
Yes, it will.
Try it, trust me. Before you start hacking bits off.
It will flop.
It'll be fine.
It will flop.
Everything's fine.
It will flop. It will flop and break because there is a bit of wire there. If you do ever need to add something like this, you usually make a little indent into the clay so that you can kind of wrap it around and squish it on like that.
There you go, perfect. What's wrong with that? Shape it a bit more.
Sure. All right. We didn't need that.
No, you're doing very well, child.
There we go.
See if anyone's paying attention. Put a comment if you think she's doing a good job.
Speaking of paying attention, I was saying earlier that with most tall birds like ostriches and flamingos, the little ball halfway up their legs is actually their ankle, isn't it? And their knee is.
I believe so. Yeah, the knee's right up by the hip.
Yeah. Because their legs are far too long, like mine.
Your legs aren't too long. You are very well proportioned, child.
You two add that to those benches that you can't move the seats on.
Yeah, I know, but that's because they're made for normal people, not proper tall people like us.
And these chairs are really uncomfortable.
Well,
speaking of uncomfortable, I'm going to make it some claws. Talons. Spiky toe extensions.
Did you need to bake those?
No, it's fine. Just stick them on.
Oh.
You can bake them, but I can't be bothered.
Well,
Mother usually complains that I'm using the oven up and it's letting out heat.
There.
What?
I've got an oven there.
Cool. Don't tell me that.
Huh?
It's got a bloody microwave.
Huh? It's not a microwave, it's an oven.
Let's give me a minute, I've got to do the toes.
Well, failing that, you can blowtorch them, can't you?
No, that just burns them.
Well, not if you do it carefully.
And then we can add.
I gave you a blowtorch, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
There you go. Blowtorches, perfect gift for a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah. And make them nice and. It's not really the talons that are the problem, it's more the teeth. And make them sort of flat and spiky. There we go. And make sure the toes actually go down onto the wood because your toes don't levitate most of the time.
Very true, Giles.
And the good thing about using this cos clay for doing stuff like small pointy thing and stuff that's probably going to get dropped and break is that even after it's been baked it's still flexible, so if it is dropped then it has a slightly more fighting chance of not breaking.
Not a sponsor. Although if they want to sponsor us they can.
And make sure that the toes are all in toe positions. These are the best looking chicken feet I've ever made. Now then. Then we need arms. That's it, arms. That's exactly what I was thinking. Now from this picture it looks like it's got two fingers. Two little fingies. It's a bit like a T-Rex really. It's like an off-brand T-Rex. It's like an alligator is an off-brand crocodile. Into middle arms. These should be no, don't do that. You always do that, and it always goes wrong. Make them an armature. Always remember to even if they're small, and they need to be floppy anyway. Don't not make them an armature. It always goes wrong.
You sound like you're speaking from bitter experience now.
I am. Then you put the armature into a little army position. There we go. And I'm also going to wrap it in tin foil. So that it reduces those sharp edges of the wire, so that when you're messing around with it after you've made the arms don't get cut apart by the wire. Fat arm. Get off. No. No, please go apart.
You seem to be having such fun. I'm going to go and make my dinner. Is that all right?
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Go on then.
I'm doing fine.
Jeez.
Did you need me to stay for anything?
I get to slave away and you get to go and have dinner.
Well, you can have dinner
No. Go on. Bye. See ya.
Right, we're going to take a break for dinner apparently. It seems to be struggling with these fallings a little bit, but we'll. It's probably you've been at it for a while.
Tin foil everywhere.
That's all right. We're going to take a break for a minute and then come back and continue with more dinosauring.
Big chicken.
Huh?
Big chicken.
Big chicken, yeah.
Big chicken.
Right, dinner has been consumed. Go on then, get on with it.
Good. I can't remember what I was doing.
You were doing its front legs.
Yeah.
Can I just make a small suggestion?
Good.
Can we move this out of the way? Because the trouble is the camera keeps trying to focus on that rather than on what you're doing. So, don't get you. So, that's better. For some reason it likes focusing on things that are farther away than things that are close. So, anyway, there you go, carry on. Lock the garage. Heating's on as well, so it's got wind about being cold.
Alright. Made one of the arms far too small. Now, its arms aren't exactly that long, but they're definitely longer than that. So I'll make a new one using this bit. What about these bits? Perfect. And attach about the top of the first rib. Shoulders. Make sure that both blocks of clay are the same size.
Yes, I am impressed with your progress with this child. Seeing as how prior to this you were just, it was all stretch and squeeze, wasn't it? You were mould things rather than actually like building things up and whatever else.
Shoulder. Stick down there. Try it fits. Put it off again. Put clay on the other bits of the arm. Again, making sure to cover up the tin foil. Now I think by the look of the skeleton it has two little fingies, a bit like a T-Rex. So I'm going to give it two little fingies, a bit like a T-Rex. Now here is one little finger. And here, the other little finger. Going to make sure one is slightly shorter than the other. And we're going to make two more little fingers for the other hand. To have four little fingers. And after I've done that, I can attach the first two little fingers to the first arm. The wrong way around. The smaller finger should go on the inside. That's fine. I'll just twist the shoulder around. So now we're working on this side. Now, you get a relatively flat shoulder because that way it will attach easier. There's one little arm, which I'll mould into the body in a minute. And here, don't tell me I used up that sphere I made earlier. I did. I always do that. So instead, I'm going to make a little bit at the top as its shoulder, and then I'm going to cover the rest of it again, like the other arm, in clay, like so. We can come with our cos clay, get a little piece of that, and we can make this into a little talent. 2 little talons. I think it has talons on its fingers. It does look that way. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it cone at the top, but also a slightly smaller pointy bit at the bottom as well, like so. And we can make a small hole in there, and you can get one of the claws, making sure the smaller bit goes in the said hole. And there we go. Got a little claw. Okay. So now we have 2 arms. We can attach them on and blend them in using the ball stylus and a thumb. And also this little thingy, like a little scoopy thing. Works well as well. You do start to get gaps in the clay. Just add more clay. Remember to smooth that in as well. Giving the shoulders a little bit of definition again, so a bit like legs, so it doesn't just kind of blob into a big grey clay blob. Make sure there isn't any gaps in the arm there. There is, you can just stick a bit of clay in there. And then do the same for the other arm. And there's a little dinosaur with arms.
Yeah. That'll be good now.
Yeah! Get rid of all these little bits of tin foil. So, now we're moving on to the head. So, I usually sculpt the head as one thing and stick a mouth in between it. But this time I'm going to sculpt the mouth and the bottom jaw separately.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pushing the boat out.
Yeah, I know. Get our little head shape top part of the mouth.
Do you want that light on, by the way?
No, it's fine.
You sure?
Yeah.
Is that not better?
No, it's fine. Actually, yes, it is.
I forgot to turn it back on when we came back up.
Then sculpt the bottom jaw. Yay! You can add some tooths.
Teethus.
Yes. And there's the bottom jaw. And you attach them together and make a dinosaur head. It's kind of give the jaw a little bit more jaw-likeness. That looks like a chicken. Perfect. Now then, I'll just lengthen that a bit. Make it look even more like a chicken. Flatten it out, I think. There we go. Okay. There we go. Now that looks vaguely correct, I can give the top jaw, hollow it out a bit. Stick the bottom jaw in there. Slightly shorter. There we go. And stick them together like so. There we go. And then that would be the nose, that would be the random hole, that would be the eye, and I think that would be the ear. So the eye is here. I think, maybe, possibly.
Well, look at me, you're doing it. So, you know, more about the sort of thing that I do.
There we go. Pop that off there. Stick it back on a little roll. Give it a bit of a fruit. There we go. Some little mouth details. You can add a bit more clay to make sure the mouth doesn't fall apart. Add some little nostrils. There we go. And then we can add a little tongue. Now, they'd have based dinosaurs off of lizards, and most lizards have relatively long forked tongues. So I'm going to give mine a forked tongue. Because I can.
Lizards have forked tongues? Snakes have forked tongues?
Komodo dragons have forked tongues.
Okay.
Dinosaurs don't actually have forked tongues. Well, actually we don't know whether dinosaurs have forked tongues or not. We just assume they don't. Penguins have teeth on their tongues. So do geese. I'm not sure if ostriches do though. I think they just have normal tongues. It's too short.
No, I think with things like geese and that, because the waterfowl is they tend to be filter feeders and eat. They tend to filter through the water and also eat greenery that grows in the water. I think that's why they've got teeth on their tongue.
And penguins have teeth on their tongues because they don't want fish getting out of their mouth while they're trying to eat them.
Oh, there is that as well.
So there's its little tongue. Now we get onto the fun bit of making the teeth. So we poke little holes in its gob. I could count the teeth like I counted the ribs, but I'm not going to do that. That would take too long. Some around here. There we go. Gummy. Had Tacky the T-Rex and Gummy the Gorgosaurus. And then a bit like the fingers, roll out a little bit of cause clay like that. I probably should have done this before I added the bottom jaw. And then shove them in there like so. And you have a little tooths. There we go. Now I'm not sure what it is. But I think Gorgosaurus was a carnivore.
Oh. You think?
Now then, we can get our... We can get our body back, put on our head, and make it a little collar, pretty much. Get a little bit of clay. Make it flat. Wrap it around the neck. And then stick the head on like that. Just for a minute. Everything. so. And there we go. And then just to get back on his bit of wood. Or not. Then I can stick it back on his bit of wood. And there we go. Dinosaur. Now then, we can make its eyes. Which, 2 little pieces, well, 1 little piece, that turns into 2 little pieces of cosplay. And then you put in the eye sockets. And that's pretty much it. And then you get a little bit of grey clay and make it into a little stringy bit of grey clay. And then you make one the top eyelid and one the bottom eyelid. It's looking quite angry because dinosaurs always seem to look angry. And do the same to the other eye. There we go. And define the back of the head and the mouthy bit. Make him some little ear holes. Make him another little ear hole. And that's it. So now we can move on to the texture. Yay! Please don't tell me I've left it inside.
What do you need?
It looks like this, but it's missing that bit.
I'll go and get that, shall I?
If you could.
Yeah.
I'll just use a knife for now. So now what we need to do is we need to give it some dinosaur texture, which looks a bit like the texture on the back of your hand. So just kind of a lot of intercrossing, overlapping lines. I'm not going to use this knife because it's too sharp edges. Use this instead. Just make sure that first of all it's all blended in, apparently. And second of all, it covers all of it. Apparently there's a fly in here now. That's nice. Going over all of the details like the ribs and the muscles. Kind of scratching it. Give it a nice skin. Kind of maybe scarred up looking texture. If I was doing this as a scientifically accurate dinosaur, I would add feathers, because most dinosaurs had feathers. Well, I say most. Most had, like, I guess kind of at least a downy coat of hair. But this isn't scientifically accurate, so I'm not going to do that.
Is that what you wanted?
Yeah. I am going to use this, however, which is much easier to scratch up the surface with than the other one. We'll also do the arms and the little fingies. And the other little fingies. And the other little arm. And all over its head as well. And whatnot. And then it's about finished. Actually.
You're winning, child.
I think, in actual fact, it is finished.
Very good, child. Well done. So now we've got to bake it, haven't we?
Yeah. Because this looks like a lizard. Yeah.
Well, there you go. So what we'll do next is we'll
cook it.
We'll throw this in the oven and bake it, and then you can put some paint on it, and then we'll show you the end result.
Next to one actual Gorgosaurus.
Next to what one should actually look like, yeah.
Well, not actually look like, what somebody who actually knows what they're doing thinks it looks like.
Well, yeah, exactly. So yes, we will compare this to paleontology's best estimate of what one actually looks like. So yes, we'll get this in the oven and we'll get some paint on it, and then I think we can probably wrap this up.
We didn't even use the liquid Sculpey.
Oh, well, there you go. Well done, child. Good job. Right, well, after some consideration and thinking how long this video is going to be, we've decided to to wrap this up here and do the painting in the follow-up video. So, what do you think of it so far, child?
It's alright.
It's alright, apparently. So yes, I think she's done a good job, actually. It's very good. It will look a lot better when it's got some paint on it. So yes, hopefully you've enjoyed this little video. Stay tuned for the painting to follow, perhaps even a little base as well. I'd like to take a moment and thank my top tier patrons, Amy and the anonymous Tosh, for their continued support, as well as all my channel members, and indeed all of you. All of your support is very much appreciated. So if you want to see this thing painted, then stick around. Thanks very much for watching. Say goodbye, Katie.
Goodbye, Katie.
Cheers. Bye.